Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about Black Ops 6 and more specifically the Black Ops 6 maps. We're going to be going through the launch maps they've got for multiplayer and going through and thinking and almost predicting what ones we think are going to be in ranked play or comp when it eventually drops mid-December towards the beginning of Season 1. Down in the description is a link to this page where you can have a look and read through in your own time or along with the video if you want to do it with me. That's absolutely fine. But also on that link is a bunch of information on the weapons, the perks, the wildcards, and a ton of other things that relate to multiplayer that I'm not going to get a chance to make a video on. But as I say, today's video is more about the maps, what ones we think we're going to be seeing in competitive. And I want it to be sort of a discussion between you and myself. When I post this video, I want to see a lot of interaction down in the comments. Hopefully you guys have got thoughts about what I'm saying here, whether you agree, whether you completely disagree, or genuinely what is your general consensus of how the maps look for a competitive rule set at the launch of Black Ops 6. So we're going to have a quick recap here of what they've said. So they've said all the Black Ops 6 launch maps are small to medium size with traditional 3-lane routes and have been meticulously designed to fully realize the signature Call of Duty Black Ops experience. This means offering rapid, energetic combat along with a variety of scenic set pieces, cover opportunities, and ranged thoroughfares to ensure your favorite style of play is catered to, from close quarter strikes to long range sniping, with emphasis always on the action. This culminates into tighter gameplay that's perfectly suited to Omni movement. Maps are split into two main categories. There are 12 brand new 6v6 score maps, which are the ones we're going to be looking at for ranked play. And in addition, there are 4 brand new combat-sized strike maps designed to be played in either face-off 6v6 or 2v2 configurations. And then we've got the attack maps and a couple of images from each of them, which we're going to get to shortly. Now, obviously, we're only going to be interested in the 6v6 maps because we're not going to be looking at any of the 2v2s because that's never going to be... We've never played gunfight maps in ranked play. So that's going to be the main focus. From what they've said, they want to drive a lot of action. So whether or not that leans into good competitive COD, we'll see. So the first map we're going to be looking at is actually called Babylon. This was in the beta. Personally, I don't think this is going to be a ranked play. It's a real small sort of the shipment of Black Ops 6 by the looks of it. And I don't need to explain myself fully here. I don't think it's going to be a ranked play. It's too small. It would be the smallest map we have in ranked play that I'm aware of. So yeah, can't see this being competitively viable whatsoever. Swiftly moving on to Derelict. Now, Derelict is one we also had in the beta, and people sort of liked it. Now, typically, when I played this map in the beta, I didn't think it was comp viable, but I've had a look through these maps, and we're going to struggle to find 5 maps. If I'm teasing, giving you a spoiler of what I think I'm going to say, but I think maybe S&D could be viable. Looking at the layout of the map, I do feel like it's you could plant a couple of bomb sites somewhere. I didn't play S&D in the beta because it wasn't a thing, but I feel like if you could have a couple of decent bomb spots here, it's really tight and narrow, and there's so many little head glitches you've got to check. I don't feel like it's going to be comp, but as I say, what are your thoughts? Personally, from the beta, I didn't feel like any of them were comp viable apart from the one with the pool. I can't remember what it's called, but we'll get to it. Yeah, not a fan of this map. I will relap over these eventually, but I feel like Derelict probably isn't suited for comp. It's very narrow. This choke point here is going to be, if you have control of this area here, you're winning the game because there's no one going to be able to get through that because it's a one line of sight, pretty much crosses the whole map really easily. Next, we have Lowtown. So it's a core 6v6 map, and this is a bit of an intriguing one. So the description, this is one we didn't have in the beta, so I'm going to read a little bit of a description here. So traverse a dockside neighborhood with a boathouse, fishing shed, cobbler, and a gallery showcasing classic and contemporary art. Check out the stalls in the market or climb up to the lattice work for a view from the pizzeria, swim in the canal, or if desperate, the sewer to reposition and flank the enemy. Now, first of all, I'm not completely discounting this because it has water. Normally I would do that, but because we had Zarqua in MW2, I don't think that's a reason we could wipe it out completely. Now, first of all, the map looks great. If I'm looking at these images here, the map looks very vibrant. It looks great. It doesn't look like, although there are a lot of windows, we're not going to have the same issue we had in Vanguard where every window is a heady and you've got to check 10 different line of sights before you want to get out of somewhere. You've got a couple windows here that do look to be open, but it's like, as I say, they're not all head glitches that you've got to check. So that's a dub in my book. And it doesn't look like there's many places you can... There's a few line of sights, but not like an outrageous amount. The only thing that is a bit weird is, as I said, you can get on top of the pizzeria, I believe. Like the lattice work is sort of what you had on Fortune's Keep on the Warzone Rebirth map. So I believe you can probably get a decent viewpoint on top of the pizzeria. So there's a little bit of a height advantage spot there. But looking at the overall layout of the map, it's not too tight. It's fairly balanced. I imagine the main key spawn points are going to be here over towards the left and here on the right. And yeah, it looks fine. It looks like a decently sized map. There's enough separate areas for it to be hardpoint. The only thing I would say is that it's going to be hard to find hardpoint spots on this map that aren't in the water. And obviously, I don't know if I only speak for myself here. I don't want to be trying to defend a hardpoint from the water, or trying to break it from the water. I know as soon as you go into the water, you can't kill anyone. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely room for potentially having a couple of hardpoints on land. So you've got maybe 2 in each side. You've got 1 there, potentially a couple in this mid zone here. Obviously, without playing it, it's going to be a little difficult. But I think definitely this is one of the maps that we could see in competitive. Maybe for all 3 modes. It depends. I'm trying to gauge the space of this map by looking at it. I assume this canal here that we're seeing is this bit here. So this photo for the top is taken from the perspective about up here, and we're looking at this side of the building here. Sorry, I got an itchy nose. So yeah, I think this is going to be okay. You could probably have like a control point perhaps in the middle, and then a control point on the side. You can have an S&D bomb spot in the middle as like a 50-50 bomb spot, and then one that's a little bit closer to home, potentially on one of the boats maybe. I'm not sure. I think this is the most viable out of the ones we've had. It's definitely better than this one from just a pure layout perspective, and obviously better than that one as well. So yeah, I'm liking the look of Lowtown. I think it's going to be okay. Let's see what else we have in store. So now we have Payback, again, another core 6v6 map. And although it's not really bright in vibrant color, I do like the way this looks. It's very green. It looks clean. It doesn't look like there's a lot of clutter. Ghillie suits are going to go hard in this. It's going to be nearly impossible to see. It does look a little bit dark. That's my only reservation, especially when you've got what looks like a usable heady in this window here. Seeing someone in that heady is probably going to be quite difficult, but it looks okay. Size-wise, it looks like a relatively small map. This building doesn't look massive. You can sort of see what side are we looking at this from? Okay, so we're looking at it from this perspective. So we are here, like hovering over here. That's the lorry that's there. Then you've got the balcony here, which is the balcony here. I don't think it's going to be massive. It's actually a really, really small map. Probably fine for S&D. I feel like control maps need to be a little bit bigger because you've got to get control of the map. But I think S&D is probably going to be okay here. It's going to be really frantic, as the description said. Hardpoint might be a struggle for the pure reason that unless we have a hardpoint map with 4 hills, I don't know. I guess you could have one in the back room here. I guess there's a little courtyard here. You could have it in. Maybe a couple. Maybe this could be a hardpoint map. But again, this looks like the layout of this map looks reasonable. You've got the lane that covers the outside here. You can obviously, the house is obviously going to be a massive choke point. And then you've got the other lane, which is on the right-hand side here, where I imagine you've got this sort of orangery area here, like the grass chessboard, it looks like. So I think this is probably another relatively viable comp map. But again, it does concern me how tight and small it is. But let's have a read of the description, I guess. We haven't done that yet. So, deep in the Bulgarian mountains, the rogue Black Ops safe house is under attack. Breach this cliffside mansion getaway. Explore various oak-paneled chambers and the operations room in the main residence. Payback is equipped with various elevations, windows, and many strategic angles throughout the mansion. Okay, so it's going to be very tight, very quick engagement. The subs look like they're going to go ham on this map. Just see a Beezy getting first bloods on this easily. But yeah, I don't feel confident because it looks really tight. But I guess you're not going to know until you're on it and you're playing it. But the pace of Black Ops 6 probably does lend itself to perhaps bigger maps. But we'll see. But again, I'm bookmarking this. This and this look like the most 2 reasonable maps, in my opinion, so far. The next one we have is Protocol, which size-wise looks a little better. So you've got, this is the map that, if you played the beta, this was the one where you could practice your Omni movement on. So you've got like a space at the top here where you've got a couple of artillery guns. This is where you are. You can jump down to a lower field, which is here on the map, and where there's a very obvious look over point. But there's a very, this is it here. So this is where you look down from the middle. So that's the middle ledge here. You look down onto this area. So it's a big viewpoint there, which is a massive control spot. I think size-wise, this is going to be okay. The only thing I don't like is how much this top middle zone here, like where you can look over the edge here and you can see across the whole of the map pretty much, from here, I do feel like is going to be a little bit of a nightmare. And the fact I think you can also go underground by the looks of this, yeah, because there's so many floors. Though I imagine there's a top floor and a bottom floor. I don't know how well this will lend itself to comp. Got to be honest. Hard points, there's probably enough hard point spaces to have 5 hills. S&D, I think, is going to be super, super ratty. It doesn't look like you can get in the water, but who knows? I'm not sure what the map boundaries actually are, but perhaps you can. There looks like there's a little doorway there where you can actually jump into the water and climb up, perhaps. Looks like there's a little bit of a ladder on the side, but I'm not, again, not entirely sure. It looks okay. I'm not 100% confident because of how dominant this top area is going to be. But I guess it's a simple case of that's where you're going to have the map control. So, yeah, this looks okay. Not bad. I prefer the other two over this, but I do feel like this is better than Babylon and maybe the one with all the trains. So yeah, again, I hadn't read this, but this basically says located on the off the shore, the protocol training center doubles as a teaching ground and an island citadel fortified for war. The brick buildings include barracks, an armory, and an underground communications monitoring center. And with the aged architecture built into this rocky outcrop, provides a playground for Rogue, Black Ops, and Crimson One to go to their own skirmishes with each other. Okay, cool. Just a battleground. Fine. Okay. Next map we have. It looks like it's a little bit bigger. Now this one's called Red Card. It's set on a football ground. Not soccer, football ground. And it looks big. It looks way bigger than the maps we've got. It's probably a little bit more like the size of the maps we're used to playing in the most recent CODs. And I think it probably lends itself nicely to a control and S&D map just because of how big there is and how much space there is to move around and take routes. Hardpoint, maybe. The only thing I really don't like looking at all these screenshots is it's a little bit dingy. I don't know whether that's just an artistic thing because, they're meant to be pictures for this reason. But also don't like how many head glitches there seem to be. On the map this reminds me of is the street outside of Moscow on Cold War, where you had like a couple of cars. But the fact is there's like 3 head glitches here on these cars. You've got a head glitch here. You've got the stairs. I guess you probably can't use this. But yeah, I don't like a map where you walk out and you've got to check 20 different head glitches before you feel safe moving up the map. Nightmare. I feel like that's the biggest weakness Vanguard did have with all like the destructible windows and things like that. But so I'm a bit hesitant to say this is going to be a good comp map based on that. But overall, it doesn't look too complex. It doesn't look like there's so much clutter. Like there's a World Cup there. It looks like the World Cup. It doesn't look like you can get on the pitch. I feel like the stands are this is probably the boundary of where you can get to here. So you can't get here. This is the edge of it. I believe that's that bit here. So yeah, it's nice. You've got it is 3 lanes. You've got a real long lane here, like the outer lane. You've got the inner lane here, which probably takes you through the main like commercial area of this football ground. And then you've got this little bit here, which runs around the seating area. So it looks okay. I think it will probably be a solid S&D map, probably a decent control map as well, from what this looks like. It does look like, as I say, though, if we're looking at all these, there's a lot of clutter with head glitches here. Like there's cover all the way down. Every single one of these little squares are going to be a car that you can sit behind. It just concerns me that you could literally just have someone laying behind there, covering this whole lane, playing really ratty. So that's the only thing I don't like about this. But other than that, I think it looks okay. I think it looks fine. Not too concerned about that one. Next, we have Rewind, which personally we played in the beta and I hated. And I hated it because it just, as I say, this was one of the maps where as soon as you get onto this main street, you've got to check every single window in every single one of these shops. You've got to check all these cars for head glitches. You've got to check anyone in the dumpsters here. You've got to check someone who's maybe at the top of this burger town here. There's so many, fried chicken, whatever it was. So many head glitches, so I don't feel like the gameplay will play well. I think map strategy-wise, if there weren't so many windows, it would lean itself really nicely to S&D. It's a little bit too linear for Hardpoint, in my opinion. A little bit too open, I would say, especially like this main street here. But although it has a lot of cover, for head glitches, it's very open. So I feel like you're going to just get caught running out of that quite easily, which leads itself just to be like the main line of the main zone is probably just going to be this middle bit. So I feel like S&D, slowing it down a bit, will probably be really nice on this map. But Hardpoint and Control, I don't even know if Control's the third game mode. I'm saying it like it would be. I'm going to assume it is because it has been for ages. Yeah, I feel like Hardpoint and Control probably don't work as well on this, but S&D probably viable. So again, these little spaces here, all these, it's just so much stuff on the map, which makes for really rare sort of gameplay. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe an S&D map, perhaps. We'll see. The next one is Scud. I'm not going to go through Scud. I don't think it's going to be a comp map. I mean, we've had Miami on Cold War as an S&D map, so potentially a push this could be S&D, but I really doubt it. I think a lot of the pros played this in the beta. There wasn't a massive amount of positive feedback, so I don't feel like this is going to be something that is played personally. Next one we have is Skyline. So the pros loved this. All the people who were content creators love this map. I don't necessarily agree with them. They've made a couple of changes to the map, and like this is our better head glitch to the bar, which Exclusive Ace pointed out greatly. I think it plays okay. I don't think it's not a great map. It's not really a 3-lane map. It's a 2-lane map with like a bit of an open area in the middle, I guess, which you could say is another lane. But yeah, it looks fine. I think because of how much the pros enjoyed playing it from like a pubs level on the beta, I feel like it will be in there just because it's an enjoyable map to play. But other than that, I don't feel like it's actually that comp viable. I feel like on S&D, you're just going to get people on this head glitch and then the opposite head glitch on this roof, just looking over the pool area. I'm trying to see what way this is. Yeah, just looking over the pool area. I don't feel like it's going to be massively competitive for a search perspective. Maybe hardpoint, but other than that, yeah, it's okay. The only reason I see it being in the rotation is because of how much the pros liked it. Now, Subsonic is another map we didn't see in the beta. So it's fight in and around a small bomber team training facility while one aircraft sits safely in the central hangar, another lies in flames by the runway next to a crater and an overturned truck. Follow the line of destruction down the perimeter or move inside to avoid threats from overhead. Okay, so again, it looks really cool. I love the design they've done with this. Again, it just looks tiny. The map, although this picture makes it look really large, based on this image here, it looks like it cuts off before the satellite. Yeah, so you got this plane here, you got the truck, you got another truck, and then 2 tanks there, and then the map cuts off. So it literally cuts off at that barricade there. So it's this is the map. It's going to be a real fun pubs map probably for the kill records and whatnot, but it's not comp. It's too small for comp. The next one we have is a map called Vault, which looks actually okay. Now, I'm looking at the map and I'm thinking, okay, that looks quite small. There doesn't look like there's much going on there. There's a few bits of cover down this left-hand side, which you can see are cars. And you've got like the pillars of the building of the vault, I guess. You've also got an emptied out pool here. I believe it's empty. I can't see any water in it, which is up here. I actually feel like this is a really nice, simple 3-lane map, which has a lot of potential. Unfortunately, it does look like, I say simple, there is a little bit of an underground route because Treyarch like to make their maps a little bit interesting. So it looks like the underground route. You drop down here, you've got a vault below. It looks like it opens out at the pool based on this dotted line, and also probably comes out somewhere here as well based on where this map looks like the double dotted line is. Again, you can go online and look at these maps for yourself. Yeah, I think this is actually going to be a fine map. This map could have decent hardpoint, although I'm not sure where they'd put the hardpoints. S&D is probably going to play fine on this. It's going to be, again, I like the look of this map. It looks like it would play well. It would really, really depend on where they put the bomb spots on, or like A and B bomb on this map, and where they decide to they want to have the control points for control. Personally, I think it's a little small for control. S&D and a really chaotic hardpoint, sure, why not? I like the look of it. I like how simple it seems to be. So yeah, hopefully a simple map means simple spawns. So yeah, I'm a fan of this map. We'll see how it looks when it comes out. And then the final 6v6 map is called Vorkuta. And again, this looks actually okay. It's a snow map, which I don't think we've had subbase, I guess. I'm speaking out my ass, but it looks like a relatively medium-sized map. It looks like a decent-ish shape, fairly symmetrical, although there does seem to be a big height advantage here where you will have this side being considerably better than that side to spawn initially on. We'll have a read of the description because this wasn't in the beta. So, a large storm is inbound and about to hit the Vorkuta mining facility that was once a Soviet labor camp. Both teams visit a place of Mason's history to battle over key to tactical positions, covered with old machinery and exterior-interior transitions, and both teams must stay on their toes if they wish to become victorious. Okay, so this means there's probably some interactions you can have on the map. So you think, like on Skyline or whatever it was, where you could open the bookcase and go into the map. I imagine there's things like that where you can push a button and it moves the crane or something like that. This map looks fine. I'm trying to see where this is in relation to the rest of it. But yeah, I'm trying to work it out. I can't really work it out. But in any case, I think it looks okay. It's hard to tell. This is one where it's actually quite hard to tell. The map looks very spacious. Doesn't look like there's many routes. An AR heaven by the looks of it, just because of how many line of sights there are. It looks okay. Nothing too much to note. So I guess we've covered them all. So the maps I'm going to predict are probably going to be in ranked or comp as a start. I'm going Lowtown, Payback. Come back to you. Red Card. Skyline. And I'm going to say Vault. They're the 5 maps I'm predicting. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed the video like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.